First, happy holidays to everybody. Fourth quarter. I thought our group battled back. I thought it was a back and forth game. I thought we made some hustle plays to get it back to 0-0. And at the start of the fourth, we went on a drought. And against any team, you can't spot them, especially at winning time. I thought there were moments where our pressure looked really good. I thought moments where we really were in sync offensively. I thought our defense was disruptive. But down the stretch, I just felt like we just couldn't get the shot that we wanted. And they scored, we didn't. They scored, we didn't. And so trying to claw your way back down the stretch, then we started trading baskets and then putting them on the free throw line. So a lot of good stuff to show the group as we prepare for Pac-12 play. Questions?
So I'm curious to know what has happened in the fourth quarter. I am curious to know how you can elaborate on that.
Mm-hmm. Well, we just didn't get the looks to fall. We had opportunities and they didn't fall. And then you go down and you gotta get a stop. And then just we either fouled or they made the basket. So in that moment we needed to get the stops, and we did.
As far as the 3-point shooting by other teams, it looked like they did have some open shots, but there was some good defense there. Just would you say it's more of like a, letting them get open, or just the other team hitting good shots?
Well, I think it's a combination. Before the game, we were kind of hedging on that ball screen and making sure our guard got over so our big couldn't detach, especially on number 5. We knew she was a shooter, zero gap, and we were half a step off. And so the adjustment at halftime was just to switch it, but just recognizing where their shooters are. I thought we did a phenomenal job coming out, in the third, and really not giving up that 3 ball in the second half, but to start the game, especially on a shooter that we knew was going to shoot. It's just being more locked in, coming out of the locker room and ready to go. But the adjustment was to not completely sag off of her, especially knowing she was a shooter.
So as you guys played the last non-conference game of the season, what are you looking to achieve when you head to the Pac-12 conference play?
I think the biggest thing is consistency, for 40 plus. We see it. You see it in moments. You see it in glimpses. But I think there are moments in the game where we have to stay focused. We have to stay locked in. We have to finish that possession all the way through. But there were so many great moments in this game. But we have to do that for 40 plus minutes, not for 30 minutes. And so I think it's just going back and teaching. These are teachable moments. There's a lot of film, and you just have to go back and really continue to show, hey, this is the moment in the game where we need to stop. This is the moment in the game where we have to get this rebound. Free throw rebound, they can't be the first one to that free throw rebound. We have to make sure we get it. So it's just those extra effort plays, disciplines, if you will, but it's just continuing to teach.
Trayanna, you have really just kind of exploded this season. Just what do you think has led to that? What did you do in the off season and into this year?
Well, I was just in the gym trying to work on being more consistent as a player and working on being a leader as well. So in the off season, as most people do, I got to work and I was real serious about it. So.
I wonder if each of the players could just comment now that you're going to go full-time into Pac-12 play, just kind of where you see your team right now, and just the challenge that's ahead every week with ranked teams and whatnot coming up.
Well, I think for one, we don't have to look at the ranked teams and think we can't go into the game scared. We have to be confident within ourselves and just be better. We have to learn each and every single game and just be better as a whole altogether. Make less mistakes.
Just piggyback off what Katie said, just being more consistent as a team. I feel like we're growing and we're also learning, so I feel like as the season progresses, you guys will begin to see, you know, us being locked in for a full game, but we're just working on it. So.
Coach, I did want to ask, beginning of the game, just why did you decide not to go with Jaden in the starting lineup? You know, she came in really quickly. Just wanted to know what's going on.
Well, Jaden was out a couple of days with a stomach bug. And so, you know, we were just trying to, she hadn't practiced. She was there for a shoot around yesterday, but she hadn't been here since, you know, Christmas break. And so just really kind of seeing how she was feeling. She had IV the last couple of days. So it was just a matter of her, nothing wrong. But she sat there and nudged me and said, Coach, I'm ready. And you saw her go in quickly.
Yeah, she seemed to play like a, you know, her usual minutes for the most part. Just, I guess, how proud are you of her for kind of getting through that?
Oh, super proud. But this, you know, that's Jaden. The word she brings is consistency. She's a competitor, senior, and you guys don't realize she's the only, you know, veteran on the floor, and the only kind of, aside from Trey. Trey, you know, logged some minutes last year as a freshman, but everybody else is new. And so, you know, just as she's going to do whatever she can, especially as a senior. So very proud of her effort.
For either player, I mean, what kind of an impact did that have to have Jaden come back in there after that timeout in the first quarter?
It was good to see her back. I feel like she brought a lot of energy. She was our spark, so.
It's always good to have Jaden on the floor. I mean, she just sets the tempo, and she pushes the pace for us. So.
And I'm curious to know, when you installed Isadora Souza into the starting lineup, I'm curious to know how did you experiment with that?
Well, and Izzy's been able to practice, you know, another player that obviously has had, you know, some injury down the stretch, but, you know, she's feeling better. We call her grandma because her body just, it's just day to day. And so just, again, someone else that can come in just and help. And so just to see her play those minutes, you know, I'm excited to see where we can continue to grow and increase her minutes over time. So just as we're getting healthier.
You're showing that you have more depth, and still, like, you know, you didn't have May, you didn't have Treasure. I mean, do you still feel like, or do you feel like, you know, the depth is going to pay off for you as you go forward here into the Pac-12, and there's even more maybe to show that you haven't, because you haven't quite had everybody yet?
Right. Well, depth is always good. And on the other side of that depth is just experience. A lot of them are new or they're new to us. And so the more that they get to play, the more they get to log minutes, it's going to gel together. But with, you know, 8 new players, a lot of players that did not play a year ago, again, only having really Jaden and Trey a little bit, but from a health standpoint, Trey is physically better this season than she was a year ago. So it's just going to take time. That consistency, that culture, that growth, that chemistry will continue the more that we play.